Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us here for the news portion of your 8:30 stream show. I'm Mitch Carter.
That's right. I'm Casey Mason. It is Friday, November 21st. We've made it to the end of our week here, and of course, it's been a wet start to our day out there across the tri-state.
It has. And, getting into our headlines here before we get over to Byron, talking about all that rain. Kicking things off right now in Webster County, officials racing against the clock right now to find a missing person. They say late Wednesday night, dispatch got a call from a man saying he'd flipped his UTV in the Diamond area near Bill Doris Road. Now, crews say they responded, but when they got out there, they didn't find anything. Say all the rain made it hard for crews to find any tracks, and officials say the man's phone also has no SIM card, so they couldn't just call him back after that 911 call was placed, and the phone itself couldn't be traced. Now, as you see on your screen here, first responders there from several agencies searched the area on Thursday. The problem, though, Casey, they say that area is about 6,000 acres wide. Officials say it is crucial, though, they find this man and quickly.
It's a life. They have a family, and whether it was my family or anyone else's, a life is a life. And so these people that are out here today are working for that person's family and for them to try to bring them back home.
Webster County EMA officials say if you have any information about the situation, you're asked to call Central Dispatch. Their number is 270-639-5012, and officials say the search picked back up this morning about a half an hour ago at 8 a.m. Of course, we'll follow this here, and if they make any progress or hopefully find him, we'll be sure to let you know.
That's right. Now we're going to move to a couple of traffic alerts we want to let you know as you get your day started here, get out the door. An update on two Evansville traffic alerts, actually. Water and sewer utility leaders, well, they say the eastbound Diamond Avenue area, that closure there has now been extended. Now, it was scheduled to end today, but due to that rain that we saw, officials say it's now going to last until next Tuesday, November 25th. So been pushed back a couple days here. And this is going to be just past the Highway 41 ramp. It's going to end there around Hercules Avenue. Northbound access to Highway 41 is still open, and westbound Diamond Avenue traffic is not going to be affected in this.
And meanwhile, happening today, sewer crews say they hope to have some traffic restored out there on Riverside Drive. Now, that road was fully closed back in April. You may remember at Chestnut Street after that massive sinkhole opened up in February. And you can see out there, if you drive by there, a lot of the barriers and equipment have already been removed from the road. And as we told you on Monday, EWSU leaders say they hope to have one lane open in each direction. Certainly some good progress there.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, let's end things on a bright note here. The holiday season is among us, friends. Believe it or not, I've got a lot to get done. I want to talk about a fun event that you can actually check out happening tonight. It's time for the annual City of Owensboro Hometown Christmas event. We've been talking about this on the morning news here. We actually had a live look at that Christmas tree standing by there at Smothers Park. The lighting ceremony is going to take place tonight at 5 o'clock, and officials say it really just marks the start of the Owensboro Christmas season. So they do have some other events. They're going to do their dancing light display on the riverfront, a Blue Bridge light display. That'll be pretty cool, and more.
Of course, getting into the holiday spirit there. Right now, it is 8:33 here, like we do this every time here. A couple of headlines for you before we get over to Byron. Of course, folks are here to hear about all that rain this morning. Right now, it's going to do it for us here for the news portion. Stick around, though. Byron Douglas is up next.
On your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. Thanks for tuning us in on a Friday, and thank you, Mitch and Casey, for the news. As we look along the riverfront, we're hoping to get one lane open there soon, but we do have cloudy skies. And let's take a look. We do have the thunderstorm risk has been moved a little farther north. I'll have more on that in a moment, but let's just tighten this up. And I'll say good morning to folks that are on here. I have my phone lit up over to our Facebook page. Generally, we're not looking at we're not risk for any severe thunderstorms, but they have highlighted areas south of Madisonville, southern Hopkins, right along Highway 62, Muhlenberg County, Hartford, and Beaver Dam, and they moved that level 1 threat a little farther north into Bowling Green. And I think the best setup for a few thunderstorms would be tonight after nightfall. And I'll take you through that timeline and my reasoning behind that in a moment. So that's generally across western Kentucky, but even Evansville, Henderson, Owensboro, the metro area could see a few storms during that time frame. Now, we do have a minor flooding threat, but I think rain between now and as we go through this evening, we could see an additional quarter up to a half inch. Now, if you catch a thunderstorm, they produce a little more as far as the showers are concerned. And let's just do a little nowcasting here on Doppler radar. For the most part, this is just rain overall. And we're just dealing with a few showers, mainly just some showers. I'll take this full so you can see the radar so I can get out of the way here for a moment. So we have some showers, those darker shades of green. You get into Edwards County, Albion up to West Salem, some showers there. William had 12 tenths compared to 400ths yesterday. Appreciate that report there. So if you have rain reports, pass those along. Lily, Cheyenne, good morning to you. Haley, Mitchell, Deborah, thanks for tuning in. So I'd like to do a few shout outs. Got a few showers down through Hartford, Beaver Dam into Ohio County. For the most part, that's just rain, and we'll widen it out just a bit. So just doing a little nowcast, and maybe you have to be at work at 9. So this, we're just checking the board here. And some heavier bands of showers there along Interstate 65 off to our east. And I think I have the wide view. I'm just looping the radar. There we go. There's a wide view. The best setup for any thunderstorms during the morning, I think, would hover between Memphis and Nashville. In fact, a few bubbles there on the radar from about Portland, Tennessee, down to Lebanon, Tennessee, just east there of the airport there in Nashville. And then some heavier bands of showers from St. Louis up into Hannibal, Missouri. And then a little dry slot to our southwest. Now, as we look at temperatures won't do anything really for the next 4 to 5 hours. They're just going to stay right there at 54 Evansville, 57 Greenville, 53 in Mount Carmel, 56 in Dundee. And then they'll grow into the lower 60s. And we're kind of surrounded by dense fog advisories. So if you're headed over to St. Louis, allow extra time. So some restrictions there, down to 1 3/4 there in Fairfield. 2.5 miles there in Sturgis, 1 mile visibility in Owensboro. So this will be the theme even into the early afternoon hours until the winds could mix up the atmosphere. And look at the twin bridges. And you can't see the definition there at the top of the bridges, but everyone doing an excellent job. Northbound, southbound, keeping the low beams on. So we have temperatures generally in the 50s right now. Here are our rain chances. Excellent here for the next few hours. And then kind of relatively quiet. And then as we go through tonight, you see that 60% chance there at 10. That's the cold front punching on through, where you'll have winds out of the northwest touching off a few thunderstorms. Here's the guidance. I'll grab this full here, heading out over the next 8 to 14 days. A pattern change, which we'll see right around Thanksgiving. In fact, travel Wednesday, we're going to cool down. And then as we go into meteorological winter, which kicks off on the 1st, trending colder than normal. So as we graph our temps, kind of lower 60s as we go into the afternoon hours. And let's take a look at the forecast. Some patchy fog through early afternoon, highs in the lower 60s will break late. A stray storm or two tonight, generally between, and we'll take a look at some of the guidance. And tomorrow, I think we'll have stubborn clouds in during the morning. Those clouds will linger a little bit longer across western Kentucky. And I'll show you the breakdown here in a moment. I have the rapid refresh called up here, and you see a few bubbles in here at 6, 7 o'clock. This indicates just a few isolated showers and storms, some lightning. Generally, if this would verify, they appear to be subsevere, but a few thunderstorms. And this takes us to 8, 9 o'clock. You get a few storms growing across the area. Tell City, Henderson, Madisonville. So that's the best setup for a few thunderstorms. And then the winds tilting more out of the northwest during that time frame. And I think the Storm Prediction Center, looking at some of the guidance, has pushed that thread up to about Bowling Green. Now I'm using the graph model here as we go through the rest of the day. Let's see what it shows here. This takes us into the afternoon. That dry slot, which sets up to our southwest, showing a few storms as winds turn more northwesterly. Here we go at 9, 10, 11 o'clock. At night, a few storms during that time frame, and then showing a segment here of some storms about midnight. So if this would verify, portions of our area could be added to that level 1 threat as we go through tonight. These are the short range models, and we talked about this on 14 News Sunrise. Maybe go to bed. I get up bright and early, so if you head to bed and you wake up early, you might hear a few storms out there. And they can produce some small hail as well, but we're not at risk for that. Saturday, we have some cloud layers in here during the morning, clearing skies during the afternoon. And it looks good for Sunday. For Sunday, mainly sunny through that time frame. And then we're going to go into next week. Here's just a wide view. I'm using the GFS today. Tuesday, we're looking at some rain. So if you're doing any traveling Tuesday, no snow if you're headed to Chicago or Milwaukee. And then Wednesday, we're good to go. If you're traveling to, say, Memphis or Nashville, headed to Florida, points to the south, you could run into some rain. Here's Thanksgiving, a breezy Thanksgiving day. A few snow showers up in Michigan, but it will be brisk for that the turkey trot on Thursday morning. I think it's going to be colder there for the patrons. So we'll grab the 7-day here full. 63 this afternoon. A few storms in here for tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that and we'll bring you up to date if anything changes. So generally between about 5 and 10 p.m. 57 Saturday and then a 61 on Sunday. Michael, you're watching from Panama City. You lucky person, you. Enjoy the beach down there at Panama City. Boy, got some good food down there. Peyton, good morning to you, along with Jason, Lily. I appreciate the rain reports. Hey, look, if you're traveling somewhere, let us know. And we're looking forward to a nice weekend. I was going to come back for a moment. I've been talking with Jeff. We're going to be at the Owensboro Christmas Parade tomorrow with the Interceptor. That starts at 4:30. We're looking forward to that. And then also the Evansville Christmas Parade on Sunday. We'll have the Interceptor out and some of the 14 team for that. So I wanted to give a plug. And they're going to try to light the Owensboro Christmas tree this evening there at 5. So that is the latest. Everyone have a great day and a super weekend. And if you're doing any traveling this weekend, early for Thanksgiving, travel safe. We'll talk to you soon.